this movie because it's extremely provocative, but it's realistic. A major criticism of this film was that it's child porn, that they were just showing these kids and that it's going to bring a bunch of pedophiles in. I don't think so. I don't think so. Not more than anything else that's on the internet now. They're not more than beauty pageants in America, which still exist and are exactly what you see in the film.
Do you go to beauty pageants to watch the kids sneak out? I certainly hope not. Just because the beauty pageants, which are fucked up, completely agree, just because those exist in the real world doesn't mean that that's justification for this movie. I feel like that should be obvious. You can't use this whataboutism like, oh yeah, Cuties has a lot of sexualization of children, but what about, child beauty pageants? I mean, those are out there in the real world, so what's wrong with Cuties being on Netflix? I won't show you any more from this video, it's dog shit all across the board, but there's one more thing I'd like to highlight. Even when Sneako started to rise to popularity, I didn't pay too much attention because, again, in my mind, he will always be that guy that for some reason fights for this film, which is just fucking weird. So he's always just been kind of a weird person to me that I don't pay too much attention to, but I do. But take this to one of his more recent viral clips where he openly defends getting fucked.
So I wanted to break this down, because this was imagine seeing the girl you love get fucked. Love her? Yeah, I do. I love her. Yeah. I was about to say I love this bitch. I'm like, no, I'm not say that. I love my queen.
And you allow the love of your life to get fucked by another man.
What happened to the other
There's no way.
I'm crazy. The first time, as soon as I saw 3 pumps in, I just got one. Feeling traumatic thoughts. I've seen her with another person. It's a lot. But I think it's something everybody should do just to test.
It is a legitimately super sad thing to sit there and listen to because Sneako is very clearly bothered by that whole situation, but is trying to play it off with a deeper message like, no, this is actually a good thing, and in fact, I recommend every guy out there trying letting their girl get fucked by another man. Then you'll know if it's real, if this is the person you want to spend the rest of your life with. It is fucking tragic to listen to. Now, I want to be clear, I have absolutely no problem with open relationships. I think everyone should be completely within the right to handle their relationships however they see fit, whatever makes them happiest. Contrary to what Sneako thinks about me, I have legitimately no issue with open relationships at all. What Sneako's talking about here isn't so much an open relationship, it's cuckoldry. You have watched your girl get fucked in front of you on at least 2 occasions that he talks about here. And you were right next to her, watching her get fucked, and one time you were so upset about it you had to leave the room after the 3rd pump, you said. You're clearly not really alright in this situation. You're for some reason forcing yourself to be okay. I'm not trying to sit here and be an armchair psychologist like you try to do against me during your rant, but it really seems like you're going for it. And yet, for some reason, you're also trying to celebrate it and promote it like a good thing. It's just super sad. Like, if you're fucking other girls and she's fucking other guys, that's one thing, but you being in the same bed that she is fucking another man in and watching her, and then even talking about how, upset you were about how much she was moaning, and the deep eye contact she was making with the man she was fucking in front of you, you're not really okay with it, it sounds like. So stop trying to pretend to be, and stop trying to make it seem like this is a good, healthy thing for everyone to try. It's just pretty sad. So this is always in the back of my mind when he starts critiquing my relationship, or really any relationship for that matter. Like, what really gives you the right, especially when you're clearly in a very complicated situation in your own mind with your relationship. So, like I said, I didn't really want to talk about this, but he apparently keeps shitting on me and making a big hoopla about it. People keep bringing it up to me, so I felt like I should at least address it in some capacity. So this is me talking about it, and that's about it. See ya. Yesterday, a very popular YouTuber named Corey Kinshin posted an absolute bombshell video accusing YouTube of some awful things and explained the whole situation that led to the claims, and he does not hold back. The gloves were off and the chef's hat was on because he just started cooking meats. Now, of course, it's not unusual for a YouTuber to make a video with this guy's platform. It happens every day because YouTube is a company that very, very rarely gets anything right. So it's constantly catching more shit than a Walmart toilet, and rightfully so. But even with hourly uploads of everything on YouTube, the problems that Corey Kinshin highlights are some that I have never seen disgusting. The video is titled YouTube Racism and Favoritism. It was actually the #1 trending video all day yesterday, and right now it's number 2, which means this is the front page of YouTube. This is the #1 video on YouTube, so I bet they're thrilled about that. Corey Kardashian has over 2 million subscribers, so this is a video that carries a lot of weight.
Guys play favorites. You are racist, or it's a mix of the two. These are the 3 options.
It's a pretty aggressive intro, but he's rightfully upset about unfair treatment he's been experiencing. So, after going through what he's gone through, he believes that there's only really possible conclusions to draw from it, where it's either YouTube policy team playing favorites, members of the policy team being racist, or some combination of the two. Now, before getting into the specifics of the situation, I'd like to say I think most people have been aware of favoritism on YouTube for quite a while. You know, it's not exactly like it's not hush hush. I think everyone has recognized that there's some level of favoritism on the platform. I mean, there's been lots of which indicates that have at least some capability of boosting channels, whether that's through the algorithm, people waiting for themselves, for channel making or more good business, and the inverse is likely true where they hide channels they make problematic and bad. So favoritism is something that people have been loosely aware of for a long time, and also when it comes to mainstream media sources, like late night show hosts have much more leeway than an average YouTuber. They can say and do a lot of things that get normal YouTubers demonetized or age restricted or straight up strike. And that doesn't apply to big companies. So favoritism is something I think most people know exists on YouTube. That's not a conspiracy theory. However, the claim that Corey is about to make against the YouTube policy team in regards to racism are pretty interesting.
August 18th, I uploaded the portrait system. A lot of you would know. Got haters. I saw that all these other YouTubers were playing the portrait assistant, and only my videos seemed to be racist. So I appealed the restriction. Hey guys, I'm not sure why mine got age restricted. Could you look into this? Appeal rejected.
This isn't the whole situation, it's just the beginning. I already want to talk about something in particular, though, the appeal system. Corey mentioned that after appealing, he was rejected pretty quickly. That's the norm. I can count on one hand the amount of time that I've ever even heard about appeal being overturned. That just never happens. The only time an appeal doesn't lead to rejection is when you make a tricky hashtag about it on Twitter. You make a big appeal on Twitter, and then YouTube will go to your appeal in your favor. But if you don't do that, if you don't stir up a shitstorm and start throwing sand in YouTube's face on Twitter, they won't bother. I am very confident that there is no human being on the review process for appeals. In fact, I would wager my anal virginity that there is no human being that looks at appeals. And if I'm wrong, then I fully invite the policy head to come on about it. I am so fucking confident that there is no human being that looks at those appeals, because they always, almost always, in rejection and standing with the initial decision, even when it's blatantly wrong. The algorithm makes mistakes, but the appeal is supposed to bring a human being into the equation, look at it, investigate the case, and decide whether or not there was an algorithm error or if there are times where it is just outright wrong, and they will still stand with that decision. So I just don't think the appeal system, that needs a drastic overhaul.
My video got me restricted. My YouTube rep isn't on the policy team. He looked at my video and he said, hey, it could possibly be this part at the end. So I looked at that part. The first thing I did was try to find other YouTubers who had that part, or at least a part similar. So I go to Markiplier's portrait assistant part 3, and he had the same situation going on, and his video wasn't age restricted.
Corey explains that after he was to talk to YouTubers who speculated as to why they decided to enforce the age restriction, and he highlighted a potential problem with the ending of the game that was in his video. So Corey then went to other videos to try and find that exact same part, and he found it in one of Markiplier's videos, which wasn't age restricted, yet had the exact same content that Corey's did. So he was left confused. Why is Markiplier's video okay, but his isn't? Now I want to immediately squash the argument I know a few people will make that Corey Kardashian might not be as advertiser friendly as Markiplier, which is why Markiplier is being favored by YouTube here. That just doesn't work, because Markiplier still says bad words, he'll say fuck and shit, and you know, he'll squeeze in some naughty words. Corey Diction is squeaky clean. He doesn't say any naughty words. He even censors bad words in the games that he plays in video. He is a advertisement for the creator. So it's not just YouTube playing favorites for whoever's more it's not because if it was, Corey would be the one. So it definitely has to be something else in play for why they demonetize Corey and not Mark. Now, if you've been around my channel for a while, you might remember that I went through an almost identical situation a couple of years ago. I made a video on a rape incident and got an entire strike from YouTube, a policy guidelines strike from YouTube for it. And I found that exact same clip that I was talking about in one of Markiplier's videos that wasn't age restricted, demonetized, or anything. I was so angry. I was wiggling in rage. I was so upset. I couldn't sit still in my chair, so I made this video talking about it. And then I made a big stink on Twitter. And Markiplier actually came to my rescue, like a fucking hero of justice, a symbol like Batman. He came in and said, fair is fair, where is my strike, YouTube? And YouTube responded, not by getting rid of my strike, but by striking Markiplier's video as well. So now both of us ended up with a strike, and Markiplier made a video talking about that, and eventually YouTube decided to rescind both strikes, saying that it was a mistake on their part. But obviously you can see that they're not enforcing their rules equally across the platform, and they're just not enforcing them properly at all. There was no reason that your video should have ever resulted in a strike by any stretch of imagination. I can understand the algorithm having a bit of a oopsie, a little woo there, mistaking a fake comical road rage for a real incident, but the appeal process is supposed to come in there where a human being looks at it, and within 3 seconds should be like, oh, this is clearly a joke. But that never happened because I don't believe humans actually review the content. I'm getting sidetracked. The point is, the rules aren't enforced appropriately or equally. So kind of similar situation, but not exactly the same as what Corey's been going through with YouTube here. However, I do find it interesting that Markiplier is present in both of these cases. I feel so bad for Markiplier. He's done nothing wrong. He just keeps getting dragged into these disputes here with YouTube.
Vad gör du?
I say, hey, Markiplier
Vad lagar
has
du?
a situation
Eller vad gör
video, but
vad gör du?
his is an age restricted. Could you send that to the
Ja, ja.
team?
Vad blir det för lugn?
About that? They came back. And
Jibbe!
age restricts. They took it off.